All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Tanisha, but I go by Nish, and I'm with,
Tatiana, but I go by Nush.
and you guys are listening to What's My Niche. So, I want you guys to eventually be our What's My Niche friends. So, I hope you guys tune in and come back to listen to what we're talking about. So, on here, we're going to talking about connecting with people, growing up, becoming an adult. Once you are an adult, things change and things get difficult. And Tanya's just going to be here having a conversation with me, either agreeing or disagreeing, which is fine. But we're just going to give you guys some things that we feel like should be talked about and we want people to hear about with us. Right, Tanya?
This is right. This is correct. Yes, wonderful explanation of things that are going to happen here.
Exactly, right. We're going to use this podcast to connect with you. You want you guys to connect with us, send us input, send us questions, things you want us to talk about, things you guys want to hear about. This is something that we want to grow with you guys. I want you guys to grow with me, and I want you guys to hear from us and just hear some things we got to say. So, every Wednesday at CLC, we have our Empowerment Wednesday, and we host workshops here. They're really fun, and we actually just hosted our Entrepreneurship for Youth, which doesn't sound like a normal thing, which is kind of hard to explain, but being a youth and being entrepreneurship is not something that's talked about a lot, which I understand you're a kid or you're a teen and growing up and you don't think you can do those things, but entrepreneurship can start from being a youth. And Tanya, do you want to talk about our workshop we just had?
Yes, so every other Wednesday, we have this wonderful opportunity to grow, like you said, right? And connect.
Yeah.
And we call them Empowerment Wednesdays. Why? Because they are all valuable, bring some empowerment into your life, and
Yeah.
then you can connect with other people after workshop to dig kind of deeper into those topics. But our most recent one was on the topic of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know if you want to hear my opinion.
No, I'm going to hear it and then I'm going to say something. I'm going to have a response.
Okay. For me, entrepreneurship is all about mindset. And I think we all kind of can already think of our own personal life. So we have our life, we have ourself, which is most valuable asset,
Yeah.
most valuable thing for us. And we are all our own managers, entrepreneurs. And we can, by kind of observing ourselves and how we go through the day, through life, we can understand if we are in an entrepreneurship mindset
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah, so for me, hearing about entrepreneurship for youth, like I said, it wasn't like a common thing for me to hear. So for me, I feel like the first time I started hearing about entrepreneurs or people becoming entrepreneurs was around COVID. So that was the time when everyone spent a lot of time in their house, especially me and maybe Tanya spent some time at home. But we were all at home and everybody had hours and days and months and almost 2 years to think about what I could do to become an entrepreneur. And I feel like that was the first time everyone wanted to be like, I can become an entrepreneur. And I don't think people really knew what they were going to be. I don't think they knew what it was, but they seen everybody else doing it. We were in the house, we couldn't work, and everybody wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I feel like that was a great time for all of us because it made people learn skills and bring out skills that they never knew they had, and they wanted to make money from it. So for me, going to the entrepreneurship for youth, I actually love going to it where I've seen a lot of teens and youth and hearing about them wanting to start their own businesses and things like that. Because usually, in school and stuff, the only thing drilled into kids is go to school, go to college, and get a career. And there's other things that you can do instead of getting a career. You don't have to be a doctor or a firefighter. You can be an entrepreneur, and that can be your career. So it was really exciting to hear youth and things like that. It put a smile on my face because I'm a young person and I do a lot of creative things and stuff like that. But growing up, I never was told that could be my career or I could become an entrepreneur. It was, you need to get your work done and you need to go to college and figure out what you want to do with your life. So I actually really loved the workshop, and it was facilitated by David, and he gave a lot of insight on things that we had to do to become an entrepreneurship. And he talked about taking risk, stepping out, and I forget what the last step was, but it was just small tips that people didn't realize that you had to take, or you might have been taking the steps already, and you know, you didn't know that you were trying to step out to be entrepreneurship and things like that. Oh, I just remembered. The last one was network.
Right.
So, and it's hard to people don't know that you have to network. So I feel like the workshop was really good to just hear from another young person. Like David's a young person too, to tell you like you can do this. Anything that comes to your mind that you're able to do. And he taught people like you have to network, you have to take risks and step out to even get to the start. So all you have to do is get your foot in the door. And I just feel like COVID, even though it was seen as a really bad thing for a lot of people, it was really a great thing for America. A lot of people found out that they are really good at things and they can make money without going to work. So, yeah, that was my take on the workshop. It really was like a powerful workshop for me, and I can't wait to attend more.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing you saying is entrepreneurship is all about self-discovery. So it's kind of like discovering yourself and trying to find your interest and who you are, what you're good at, and what your passion is, and applying it into real life, and not just because like when we are growing up, we like to do certain things, and then we always hear, like you said, that yeah, you like it, but there's this career, that career, something that you have to do for life because their bills have to be paid. And it's very rarely someone supports you. Oh, is this really something that you like to do? Let's get some skills. And there are some skills that is very important for being an entrepreneur. Like you have to do a business side of a business, right? So you have to learn how to put your books together and how to even start it, how to open your LLC probably.
Exactly.
But what is most important is that you can actually, when you hear all this like self-improvement talks and they tell, find something that like your job can be like your hobby and you'll never be like tired of your job. This is actually something that an entrepreneurship pathway can help you with, right?
Exactly.
You figure out what you're good at, what you're passionate at, and with help of network, with help of professionals like we have here, they can support you first with being able to take that risk and like actually say, yes, maybe I can really try it. And then you go home and you tell your family, like, actually, my passion can be a way to support my life financially even, right?
And then I feel like that too. So that's a great point, because I feel like people always, when you're a teen, that's when you start realizing like, I like doing this, or it could be something as simple as like gaming, right? So I hear a lot of parents complain like, hey man, you got to get off of that game. And it's just like, you don't know, like they could be making video games 10 years from now, and them gaming that hard every night could change into something else. And I know what you mean when you're in school and you're telling people like, hey, like this is what I want to pursue or what my career wants to be. And then you'll have adults that these could be your loved ones or like your friends or even just people that you really look up to, and they're just like, hey, they might feel like they're looking out for you, but they're like sometimes crushing your dreams. And so I think it's really good, like if you do have a passion for something or you believe that you can make your dream into something, I think you should still go along with it. I know it's really important to have the support, but if you just know to yourself and be true to yourself and you stick with it, I feel like you can make whatever your hobby is become something. And it's really important to enjoy your job and want to keep being at your job, because like I said, you hear adults all the time like, I hate going to work, I don't want to go to work. And you know, you want to stray away from those things. Like, I don't want to be saying that. I'm young, I don't want to be saying I hate going to work. So I really try to make the best out of my work. I'm always laughing and having fun and, you know, trying to make the best and getting my work done, because it's not always that to have that mindset to hate work, which I got from Tanya, because it's not that like I hate work, but I was telling her how I feel like some people dread going to work because it's a workplace and, you know, you have to go every day. But I like to look at it this way. Work now as an adult becomes when I used to go to school. So when you're a child, your 9 to 5 is getting up, going to school and getting your work done. But when you become an adult, you just need to go to work. And those things just don't change. So I think it's really important that people understand that they can change the things they like into a career.
Of course, because you also, the energy you bring, if you go somewhere and you hate something that you do and where you go, like you share this energy with others, and then our energy is contagious, right? So why I believe everyone wants to be surrounded by more positive type of energy. Of course, we have like different times going through the day, but this is also very important in your pathway to being entrepreneur, because you are becoming that leader. Even if it's like a smaller group of people you will lead, but you will lead someone toward some goal, right? So you have to lead with positivity, or at least find that like way to be able to, like you said, reteach yourself, and be that with entrepreneurship is you will eventually be, it's all being your own boss, or you will lead someone, yourself and someone else, which is also that risk that you were talking about.
So do you think, I know it's not talked about a lot, do you think there's an actual reason why people don't pay attention to like entrepreneurship in youth? Because, you know, entrepreneurship or being an entrepreneur is something that you can become once you're an adult, which to me, I feel like is completely not true. Like, I feel like you can start young and you can still do it and continue and make it into something. So do you think there's a reason why people look over it for youth, or?
That's actually a very good question.
I know.
Yeah. Wonderful question. I think that first of all, it's safe to go, and the workforce need people to work, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we also need those workplaces. So because when you're entrepreneur, you organize those workplaces, right?
Yeah.
Also, there might be another reason is that in order to become an entrepreneur, it might believe that you first need to try yourself at a conventional jobs and look at the business from kind of inside, and then see how it works, because then when you become your own boss, you will be organizing this, and not knowing how business works from inside, it will be harder to organize it from like by yourself, right? So the pathway will be to start working at a conventional job, working for someone, but use this opportunity, because when you're starting as youth working for someone, there are a lot of idle time, like, time that you might spend like free time. So use this time to understand how processes work at the company where you work. So you learn something, right? And then once you're ready to open up your own business, you can use all this information. But this,
I'm listening.
This was probably working before, like you said, before COVID time, when COVID showed us that there are a lot of opportunities in e-commerce, right? There are a lot of like technological advances right now with AI. So that kind of structure where you first come and work in a business and learn from inside and then go open up your own business could work like before, like 5 years ago,
but
right?
I feel like COVID, the working in of a business and like coming, I feel like it took it away, because a lot of people were like moving online. So the workplaces was closed. They're like, you need to get on Zoom and do your work, Or even when I was in the program, I had to get on my laptop and, sit in front of the laptop and get coaching that way, which was a whole different way of coaching instead of, I really appreciated being face-to-face, hands-on, someone telling me, hey, you should get this done or something like this, because when it's just through your phone, it just doesn't feel the same. And I don't know, I feel like that entire year, like, people really missed out on the opportunities to, like you said, like, get in a business and look from the inside. And people just, freestyled how to be an entrepreneur from their couch. People were trying to make T-shirts at home. They're making mugs. They're just making anything they can to make money from their couch. And now we're back to regular times. All of our businesses are back open, and people aren't trying to adjust to it. Adjust to that.
Yeah. I would say it's a very good point. So I would say that it's one of the most important attribute of being entrepreneur is finding out a way of like what to do when the situation is unusual or the time is changing or something is happening. So this is a very, very important attribute of being entrepreneur is that you can adjust to changing situation. Like you said, like people were stuck at home, but they didn't waste their time. They started producing something. This is like you are exactly an entrepreneur, and you will survive in any other situation because you can adjust to time changing.
Yeah.
So I would encourage everyone who is thinking of becoming an entrepreneur right now, do not teenage time, and we all been there. It's a time when you think, oh yeah, I have this idea, but I do it tomorrow or the day after tomorrow.
Do not wait. Never wait.
Yeah, but like not even like you might not start your business tomorrow, but take charge and like be an entrepreneur of your own life. You wake up in the morning, your life is your business.
Yeah.
Make sure that everything is in order. Make sure you organize things. Make sure you are proactive. Make sure you're active. And all those skills, they are developing day by day. And then after a certain amount of time, there comes an idea and I'm ready to actually do it as a business or like start doing something and start selling and start promoting. So the first comes this energy, and the first comes this like habit of kind of feeling yourself as I'm able to do it. And it only can be achieved through practice.
Yeah. I think that's really important. I feel like a lot of people don't know that they have to practice to get there. They just try to go in, code. I mean, no knowledge really, just like, hey, I have this idea, I've seen other people doing it, I'm just going to try. But yeah, you do have to practice those things. And then that's like around COVID too, when TikTok was coming out and things like that. And everybody started making their own business. And then they found out that, hey, I can make these TikToks and I can make money from it. And they just didn't really practice like, how to make good content and things like that. But now content is like a huge thing in everyone's life. Like, content of your everyday life, content of you going to school, what's in my book bag, like all those things are just things that I feel like everyone can try if you are willing to and if you want to. Like if that's your passion or you see things like that, just don't fear to try. Because I feel like if you do try or even just get your foot in the door, like I said, you will get there. And be patient with yourself, be patient with everyone else, your supporters, like they will come eventually.
Right.
But yeah, that's my
I have a question though.
Oh.
So we are talking about some ideas. Remember, youth were sharing a lot of ideas about what type of business they would want to start, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about some ideas that they shared.
Okay, so I remember a few things. I heard a few people say that they would start restaurants, which I would like to say a lot of people are scared, because as soon as you think of, if I start a restaurant, you're like, hey, I have to have money. Hey, I have to have chefs. Hey, I have to have waitresses. I need to have a commercial building. And it just seems like something that you will not be able to do, which is not true. You can start somewhere. Like, who says you can't make the meals at home, go to a park, set up a table, and sell them out there? It's just start somewhere. I also heard hairstylists. I heard some people say they would start shoe businesses. But like most of the businesses, I think they feel like if there's an overload of people already doing it, they stray away from actually starting it, which I hear people all the time, like there's plenty of hairstylists out here. The same for doctors, teachers, and lawyers. There's plenty of teachers, doctors, and lawyers, but guess what? We will always need them. Someone will always need to get their hair done. Someone's always going to want a new pair of shoes. Someone's always going to want to try somewhere to eat.
Yeah, just come to identifying your niche.
Yes, everybody.
Right? Yes, yes.
No, seriously, like, if you just think of it that way, like we will always need these things as long as the human population is alive. You will never say like there's too many. There's never too much of anything. there's more than enough, and there's can be more and more and more for years and years on forever.
Yes.
But yeah, that's I did listen to everybody, and I just thought in the room like, like I wonder what's holding them back and things like that. But I didn't really get to ask because that's kind of, I'm not supposed to be talking in the workshop. But when people were sharing, like some people was like, oh, I don't know, I don't have anything, and then they was like, well, what's something that you like what do you like doing and things like that, and they're like, I don't know. Like even people are struggling to identify things they like. So I feel like that's something people should start doing too, like figuring out what is peaceful to them, what they like, what's their hobbies. And a lot of people just, they kind of ignore those things.
Yeah, that's where coach comes in place. And coach is someone who asks you right questions. And right, I mean not being right in terms right for you, right? The questions that will go directly to you thinking about and bringing up those important answers, like what do you like to do, who you are, what are your strengths, what are your passion, what most likely what are you doing in a day. Like those times when you do something and you basically lose a track of time. Of course, like if it's a lot of people spend time playing video games, right? Of course, if it's this, let's talk deeper and figure out what exactly are you looking into video games, because playing video games can be like seen by parents and others from outside is just waste of time. But maybe someone playing because they like particular thing in that video game.
It looks cool. They like the graphics.
Or they can like figure, and people play different games. Maybe someone is just like playing because they like this particular move, or they like to figure out the certain situation. So this can be also identified as a strong side and can be very applicable in a real life.
And like you said, the video games, I know a lot of people that frown upon like gamers and people who spend time on the game, but I'd like to see it as positive things, like, hey, this is keeping them in the house, maybe from going outside and getting in trouble. They could be out there sneaking around at the mall, taking your mom's credit card. They could be doing all that stuff they're not supposed to be doing. But lo and behold, he's in his room playing the game. So, I mean, hey, sometimes you just have to see a win-win situation. If he's getting his work done and then getting on the game and doing the right things and, doing his chores around the house, I see no problem with it. Because who knows, he might be a streamer, a PC gamer, I don't know. And that is like, that business is growing so much. And people make a lot of money from that.
We live in a world of opportunities. And with this podcast, we always will be and will try to be very helpful. So we don't want to just talk, but we want to be very, very helpful. So I want to bring it up and let everyone know, if you're someone who is already feeling some type of urgency to become an entrepreneurship, or you have some ideas, let us know. We have opportunities here to try it out. We can connect with studio and talk about how to be a content creator. We can not only talk about it, but actually practice it. A lot about content creation is to become very visually experienced, and because visual side of the content creation is very important. We have opportunities how to actually try yourself in starting a business, or bring us an idea and we find a way how to complement your idea.
So Tanya, we're about to play a little game, right? So you're familiar with the term like true or false, right? So we're going to play fact or cap. Are you familiar with the word cap? Have you heard it before, or have you heard team say it?
Give me some explanation.
Okay, so say you know that I was not on time to work today, right? And then as soon as you see me, you're like, hey, Tanisha, like, what time did you get here? I'm like, hey, Tanya, I got here on time. Like, I got here earlier than what I was even supposed to say. Then you would say you're capping, which that means you're lying.
Okay.
So I'm going to say questions, and then you're going to say it's either a fact or if it's cap.
I'm cool with that.
Okay.
I like this rather than lying. I don't know. Lying kind of already
It has
have
a
this
negative,
like
like you're a
negative.
liar.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
know, you're like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
not a liar. I get real defensive if
Yeah.
someone calls me a liar. You know, then people try to say, oh, I'm just bending the truth. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Right.
So, an entrepreneur is employed by others to manage their company.
Cap.
Cap. Okay, you got that one right. Hold on. An entrepreneur's role is risk free.
Cap.
Cap. And why do you say cap?
Because we just said that
Yeah,
was
I
the
know.
main point of
I'm
our
sorry, I'm
workshop. I
sorry.
was listening
That was too
very
easy.
carefully.
Okay. Fact or cap? Entrepreneurs are typically creative and innovative.
Fact.
Fact? And why do you say fact?
Because this is why people go in entrepreneurship
Mm-hmm.
pathway in the first place, because they are so creative that the conventional routes are
Mhm.
not for them. They want to do processes differently.
Mhm.
They want to bring more ideas into the market. They want to do things their way. So it's all about creativity and being creative and innovative.
Okay, I'll take that. Many people view entrepreneurship as less attractive career path. So I'm asking, like, do you see entrepreneurship as like a career path that's frowned upon, basically? Is that fact or cap?
So I just want to understand if I got the question. So many people think that it's more attractive, right?
No, less attractive. So like frowned upon. Do many people think that? Fact or cap?
This is a tricky question because I can like be biased and answer with we all are biased. I can answer with my own kind of feeling. I would say this is a cap for majority.
No, it is cap, because a lot of people do frown upon, but I would say, like you said, for majority now, I don't think so. Okay. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
The word entrepreneur comes from the French word. I don't know how to say this. Okay, that's too hard. Let me skip. Let me skip. Are you going to try to tell me? Entreprendre? Okay, I'm going to try it again. Let's go. The word entrepreneur comes from the French word entreprendre, which describes people who take no risk. Fact or cap?
Cap.
Dang it.
Is it cap?
It is cap. You should have just said fact.
So, no,
it did sound good.
Yeah,
I thought it sounded
yes.
good. And I knew the answer. Now I'm like, she's going to
If
say.
you didn't provide meaning, I would say fact because I don't know. But then you said, I was like, it doesn't make sense.
Okay. All right. This is our last one. People kickstart their own businesses to pursue financial reward, but this motivation is normally secondary. Fact or cap?
I would say fact.
Okay, well, Tanya is a genius. She has answered. She has answered every question correctly. So maybe next time we'll get some more advanced questions for our entrepreneurship professor over here.
Fact.
Yeah, that's a fact. So next time I'm gonna come with some harder questions. They probably were just too easy from the jump. But
I'm coming from experience, only experience.
No. I just want to thank everyone for listening to us today. It was a great time. I had a great time speaking. And next time we do fact or cap, Nish and Noosh will have a more intense game. But thank you all for listening to What's My Niche. See you guys next week.